Well, hello, good morning. My name is Dr. Payne, which sounds awesome, in my opinion. Okay, only reason I got my PhD, so people call me Dr. Payne. I'll be your instructor for ACOM 4369, which is a brand new class. Who has no idea what we're gonna do? Nice. Me neither. Okay, we're gonna work on that. The reason we came up with this, how many people had Dr. Ulrich tell me to take this? Okay, I'll try not to let you down. All right. We came up with a new class for a few reasons. One, the Department of Agriculture is now becoming the School of Agriculture. Right. It's just some branding and name change stuff going on. Ultimately, what we really hope to kind of do in here is actually come up with some new stuff for the school to use. Okay. Whether it's messages, whether it's something like a TikTok, whatever. But where we need your guys' help, and we're hopefully this is actually kind of fun and exciting, is we need it to be relevant to people your age. We need to reach teenagers so we get them to come to school here and all that good stuff. So hopefully we're actually going to come up with some fun stuff and actually use it. If we do that, then that stuff you can list on a resume. All right, that's stuff you can point to as projects that you've done and contributed to. So hopefully we actually do that. Sound good? All right, cool. This is a quote I like. This is not, here's the other cool thing, I hope. This is not a lecture class. This is not going to be, I've had two of you before. Does anybody have me for online? All right, good. Online only sucks. It's really hard to teach. It's hard to learn. Okay, I don't like it, but people get really mad at me because they don't know me. They're just like, oh, he's really mean. Am I mean? No. Am I mean? No. Am I awesome? Mm-hmm. Pretty awesome. And humble. All right, okay. So I try really hard to make class fun and engaging and interesting. It's Monday morning, it's 8 in the morning. Who does not live in Huntsville? Yeah, so it's an early drive, right? Okay, me too. I live in College Station. Right? But hopefully we'll have a little fun in here, okay? This is a quote I like because listen to understand, not just to respond. Because sometimes that's hard for us to do, right? Somebody asks you a question and you just blurt something out. Take a minute, think about it, okay? So we'll work on that. Okay, who am I? I like to brew beer when I have time, and I like to barbecue. Okay. This class is not right before lunch. Normally when I do this right before lunch, everybody gets mad at me for talking about barbecue. Right. So I like sports too. I am raising world champions. His daddy wants a gold medal. Okay. Why am I qualified to instruct this course? If you've never had a professor tell you who they are, their background, you should probably question who the hell they are. Okay. You guys just come in the room and somebody's in the front of the classroom, right? Like, okay, do your thing. Boring. All right. I got my undergrad at Oregon State University, which has the best baseball team in the country. We're not very good at football. We're really good at baseball. Okay. We have 3 national championships in baseball. Okay. I also teach at Texas A&M, so I really like to bring that up there and poke the Aggies. All right. I can't really talk about our football team, but that's okay. I got my master's. Morning. What's your name?
Sarah Queen.
Queen. All right, cool. I got my master's at University of Florida while I was working there, and then I came wherever you can fit. And then I got recruited to come to Texas A&M a little over 7.5 years ago, give or take. And I thought, what the heck, let me see if I can get a PhD. Because I really wanted to teach at the collegiate level. I just never thought I would have the credentials to do it. Okay, I finished undergrad, I was done. Who's never going back to school? Right? You say that, you don't know. That's fine, don't worry about it now, okay? If you want to go to grad school, let me know, we can talk about it, okay? Civilian world, so I teach here at A&M, I teach in the Corps of Cadets there, right? Which is the band, right? All the weirdos, okay? Did you know that they do not have to go in the military in the Corps of Cadets? 60% of them do not, okay? Which is weird, which means they subject themselves to that. Okay. Right. So if I ever say howdy, be like, dude, don't say that here. Okay, forgive me. Right, so I teach there. I also, I worked for Extension and did fundraising. That's what I was doing at A&M before I started teaching full time. Does anybody not know what Extension is? It's okay if you don't. Well, most people don't. Okay, cool. Most kids in agriculture know. And I did corporate relations. I also served part-time in the Texas Air National Guard, which is the Air Force, okay? And we do counter-drug operations. We're watching you guys, okay? All right? So that's a little about me and who I am and what I do. All right, as I was touching on, okay, teaching style. This is interactive. All right, we're gonna go over some stuff in class, right? But this is an interactive class. This is not sit and listen for 50 minutes. And nobody wants to do that Monday morning at 8 a.m. anyway, right? Some of you do. Some of you like, don't make me take your talk. Okay, that's fair. All right. So please be part of the class. Come ready to participate. Come ready to engage. Okay? And hopefully we'll have a little fun here. I was getting ready to give a presentation to a group of ag economics professors at A&M, and one of them works on the Farm Bill all the time. He's actually like a big deal in Washington, D.C. And he's very successful at A&M, and he's written a lot of books that he's published and blah, blah, blah. And right before I started, he leans forward and he goes, "Try not to suck." I was like, "Oh, thanks, that's really helpful." Okay, so I try not to suck, okay? For class, gotta be here. Gotta be here Monday and Monday only. Wednesday we don't meet, there's no set Zoom. We're not gonna do that. Sound good? That's how we make this class work. Some people are like, "Oh, I want only Zoom." We gotta be here Monday. We gotta be in person at least a little bit, okay? Something that college students never do is actually read. Some things we'll have to read. There's not a ton in here, there's no required book, right? So if I give you something on eCampus or whatever, Blackboard, but if I say something that doesn't make sense, please ask me, okay? Because I'm just getting confused between the two universities, right? I teach 9 classes this semester, I think, okay, which is too many, right? But so we'll live on Blackboard, all right? And that's where the other class time comes from, right? So we'll have an assignment due just about every week, and I'll go over that in a little bit, okay? Which will take a little effort, but you're also not in class on Wednesday. So consider that, give it some time, okay? And believe it or not, did you know we can tell how long you guys are in Blackboard? Same thing if you guys submit a paper and you can tell how long a professor read it. Like if they use safe assign, did you know that? Somebody turned in the paper, got an A, and they've been read it for like 10 seconds? I'll do that. I don't do that. I actually read what you write, huh? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I actually read what you guys write. So we live in Blackboard. Okay, so make sure you check it off and check. I always try to email the announcements just to make sure you get them, but sometimes I forget, okay, but I'm usually pretty good about it, all right? Be original, be outspoken, be thoughtful in what we talk about here, okay? And of course, please try not to have your phones out during class, unless we need them for something. Okay, we'll get to the syllabus here in a second. My contact info is on there, all right? I'm here all day Monday. I teach 3 classes in person, but I'm here all day Monday, and my office is right around the corner. It's like 321 or something like that. It's by the, is anybody on the rodeo team? No, okay, it's right by the rodeo coach. He's really loud, and he never closes his door. He's on the phone, and he puts it on speakerphone, and he doesn't close his door. And I'm gonna murder him one day. Okay, he's like this tall. But he's a tough little dude, so I probably won't. All right, my cell phone is on there. By all means, you can absolutely text me if you have a question. Okay, I don't care. Just tell me who the heck you are and what class, because I won't know, right? And do not expect me to bail you out last minute on an assignment. As I showed you guys, I have kids, I have family, evenings and weekends. I may not respond. If it's a quick question, sure, I'll try to do it, right? But just don't count on it, right? If it's last minute. Cool. Questions about that? Hooray, you're almost done. Believe it or not, who's a senior? Classified as a senior? Graduating this semester? No, one more? Finish in the spring? Okay, awesome. You're really, really close. Okay. This is where you guys are. Who are sophomores? Any sophomores? Okay, you got a ways to go. Juniors? Nice, seniors. And then it's all downhill. Don't ever leave. Stay here as long as you can. Okay? Well, not really, because you're paying for it, right? Yeah, most of you guys are working, paying for school and stuff. And I will tell you, okay, don't quit. Right? Hang in there. Your degree is more important than ever, all right, for getting a good job, especially through this crazy economy that you guys have seen in the last year, okay? Getting a good job is key. So getting that bachelor's is an absolute separator. People say, well, now it's like a high school diploma. Well, not really. Okay, nationally, it's still almost 25% first-generation college students. Anybody first one in their family to go to college? Okay, awesome. All right, that's awesome. You guys are breaking a good trend, right? That's a big deal, right? So it's really important that you finish. Okay? That's my pep talk there. But the real world sucks. Okay. All right. Some of you are almost done, so you don't care. But this is something I bring up in every class, especially if you're newer in college, sophomore, whatever. Okay. This is how we learn. How many of you take a test and you do well on it? Okay. How do you think you would do if you took that same test a couple weeks later?
Bad.
Bad. Why?
Because I have horrible memory.
Yeah. You just remember to regurgitate, right? And then you take the test and then you brain dump it. Right? Okay? Or you go drink a 12-pack. Right? Brittany. She's a bartender, she knows. Okay. That's a problem with undergrad education, honestly. Is we just make you memorize stuff and then take a test. And you don't remember. That's why a lot of your classes have the same crap over and over and over again, right? You ever notice that? Like, oh, didn't we cover this already? It's because we have to tell you again, because you forgot, right? Or it's really valuable and we're trying to read it into your brain. If it's in your short-term memory, you have not learned it. Okay? You didn't remember it. You have not learned it. You have to get it into your long-term memory for you to actually remember something. Okay? So that's how learning works. If it's hard, you're actually learning. Who does not like math? That's why you're in here, right? Good. Okay. Do you know how easy it is for us to teach you math? There's rules. It's simple. Is it hard? Sure. Can I teach you trig? It's going to suck. Okay? But it's easier to learn math than a lot of other subjects, believe it or not. Okay? You just don't like it. It's because it's hard. Well, when something is hard, that means you are actually learning. Okay? That's how our brain works. Because your brain's like, oh, so I don't want to do this anymore. Right? And you have to force yourself to learn. How many of you are reading something, you read the same chapter over and over and over? It's the worst, right? Okay, that's because your brain is like, screw this. Okay, take a break. Take a 5-minute break. Take a half-hour break. I don't care. All right? But you got to get your mind in the right, you have to get your brain in the right mindset. It's really redundant. Okay? But you have to push yourself to do it. You try to figure out what you're learning, how it's related to what you already know. So you're trying to figure out, how is this similar to something I already know? Right? You're trying to assimilate. I'm not real big on quizzes and tests. We probably won't have any. Sound good? Okay, we're going to do projects and papers. Who would rather do that? Me too. Some of you are unsure. Some of you don't want to do any of them. All right? Okay. We got to do a little. I'll give you a hint with tests. You're taking a test. Think about what you're actually going to be tested on. Think about the class. Right? And think, what will I be tested on? How many of you are like, okay, there's the one hard thing. I'm not going to worry about that hard part. I'll focus on everything else. You ever do that when you're studying? What happens when you get the test?
That's all.
It's all the hard crap, right? You're like, oh, this sucks. I'm screwed. Okay? Right. I'll close this in case people get it right now. Questions about it? Okay. That's how we learn. Do you guys know, okay, so shift gears. Here's kind of what we're going to do in this class. Do you guys know about this Got Milk campaign? A little? What do you know?
Do I always have the milk?
Yeah, I always have the mustache. What else?
Isn't that promoting milk in general, not a specific brand?
Yep. Yep. What else? Anything? Okay, fair enough. This was actually a while ago. This is, it's probably at least 10 or 11 years old. A couple years ago, a specific brand kind of brought it back. A milk company out of California was pushing their own, right? And they started bringing this back. All right, so we know a few things. What do you guys get out of this? What do you see? What's this telling you? What are we learning?
That one's pushing more towards like sex influence.
Yeah, right? Take the super hot chick,
Yeah.
right? Okay, snakeskin jacket. Sweet jacket, right? Kyle, you have one like that? Okay, so we got her, fine, yeah, good, right? Sex appeal, right? Fair enough. What else?
Like family happiness appeal.
Yeah, okay, this one's a little more wholesome, right? A little cross promotion. We got Oreo in there, right? Can you eat Oreos without milk?
No.
Hell no. Go straight to hell. Okay. So good on milk, all right? So this was so successful that Oreo said, I want to be a part of it. okay? And there's very few cross promotions with this, okay? Does anyone know who this is? Shaq, okay? And what did he used to do for a living?
Basketball.
Athlete, right? Play basketball. So is he athletic? Successful? It's because he drank milk, right? They used a ton of celebrities, a ton. Athletes, married couples, actors. It was super famous people, all right? And it was endless, right? Is it a complicated ad? No, it's really simple, right? Is that a good thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think it works.
You don't even have to read it, like you already know.
100%. This was so common and popular. It was everywhere. Magazines, billboards, signs, all that stuff. And it could be short, right? And this was even pre, like, really social media, okay? Where, 5-second ad is common, right? Okay? It's on YouTube. You're trying to watch a video and it comes up an ad. Some of them are only 5 seconds, right? Some of them go longer if you don't click skip ads, right? Okay? Cool. What we're going to be looking at in this class is campaigns like this, and this is what is going to be your assignment. Oh, I should go over the syllabus. This is going to be your assignment for the week. Okay? I want you guys to find a campaign related to agriculture, which is super broad. Okay? That's food that we eat, clothes that we wear. Okay? Something related to agriculture. You need to find a campaign. It doesn't have to be a traditional one like this. It might only be social media. Okay? But I want you guys to find a company that created a campaign. All right? Somehow. Let me back up here a little bit and go over the syllabus. There's contact info. Here's where we are. No book. Well, who's counting on like boring syllabus day? Awful. We're not gonna do that. We'll go over a little. Okay. Here's why I had to redo the syllabus. Dr. Ulrich and I came up with this class, okay, to like help him and help the school and everything. And then at the last minute, they were like, after I posted the syllabus, they're like, hey, senior faculty think there's too much similar stuff to other classes in ACOM. And I was like, they told me that as class was starting. Okay, like 2 weeks ago or whatever, we're almost kind of far in, which is weird and lame, but we'll be okay. I was like, what the hell? So there is a calendar we'll go over, but it's not like life or death. Okay, so don't panic if you're scrolling through and like, oh my God, I didn't do an assignment. I will post everything on Blackboard, and each assignment we'll be due on Friday. Okay, I found that if I post them for Sunday or Monday, that you guys honestly forget for whatever reason. If they're due Friday, you tend to do much better. Okay, so does that work for everyone? Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, stuff's boring. Blah, blah. Trying to get to the rest. Okay. So here's how grading will work. Okay, even 1,000 points. All right, we'll have probably right about 10 assignments. Okay, several of them will be discussion posts, but they told me originally like you can't just do discussion posts. I'm like, why? We're not meeting in person. It's a really useful way to communicate. Okay, so they're assignments. Okay, in-class participation. Be here, participate. Okay, we'll get to the final project and all that stuff, and we will do that as the semester goes on. Okay, we'll build towards a final project and all that good stuff. Okay, so just be thinking about that over time as to what you would want to do. But we'll get into that as the weeks go on. Sound good? Okay, cool. Anything else? It's major. With late work, it's a giant pain in the butt. Okay, please don't submit stuff late. It's going to go down a lot. Okay, it goes down 25%. I know life happens and sometimes things come up, all right? Try to get your stuff in on time. Please, 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 okay? Because it's really gonna hurt your grade if it comes in late, okay? Says be here, don't cheat. All that good stuff. Trying to see if there's anything else I have to cover. Okay, yeah, again, we're not really married to this, but I had to include it, all right? But this is kind of a generalization of what we'll go over, okay? Each week. And I'll post in Blackboard what is due on Friday, but it'll be finding an ad campaign. Okay, And not only just find it, but be able to understand it. Who was the company, why did they do it, what were they aiming at, all that good stuff. Okay, so I'll put all that in Blackboard. Right? Okay. So, who grew up farm and ranch? Only a few of you? Okay. So 8 a.m. is no big deal then. Been up for hours? Okay. This is true. Nearly 10% of Americans, adults, believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. Does anybody believe this? Thank God. Okay, we'd have to switch your majors. Actually, I welcome people who don't have an ag background. Okay, into ag. My bachelor's and master's are not in ag. Only my PhD is. Okay. This is the audience that those of us in agriculture are dealing with. I would venture it's higher than 10%. Okay, and they think strawberry milk comes from pink cows. I used to live in Montana before I came to Texas. I worked at Montana State. I loved it. I was dealing with a K through 12 teacher that did not know that calves were born on the ground. Right? They thought literally every cow came into a veterinarian's office to deliver. Right? And this was somebody who was teaching ag to children. It's terrifying, right? You may want to be an ag teacher? Okay, cool. Yeah, terrifying, right? There's a lot of things people don't know. Okay? This is what we're dealing with. This is the general public. How easy is it to get food now? Right? 24/7, you can get food. People don't think or worry about where their food comes from. Okay? Which makes it super interesting when you get in conversations like organic or non-organic. Right? And ACOM, a lot of my students, 3360, I teach that also, and a lot of students write about this. Okay? And it is freaking hilarious because they put stupid information in there. Okay? One thing that we will work on in this class is proving what we know. Is, okay, if you're going to say organic or not, and I don't care. I don't care where you are. I don't care which side students pick, all right? But you have to back up what you're claiming. You have to know how to actually find the research and say, this is the true part, okay? It is not uncommon for ag schools for like PETA to show up on campus, right? And give a little deal about how we're murdering baby calves, right, to make veal. So if you guys really care about that stuff, you need to know how to counter it. You need to know how to broach them with facts. Everybody just argues with opinions, right? Which sucks, okay? Last year, political year, it's shitty, right? Okay? It's really boring and awful. Okay? It's all just about opinions. So if we're gonna say you should eat organic food, prove it, okay? Or if you're gonna say we don't have, it's unsustainable, okay? We can't feed 5 billion people on organic food, okay? Let's prove it. Right? That's what we have to do, right, in these campaigns. GMO crops, another super common topic where people get really upset. You know how many there are? It's 10/11. There's 2 types of corn that are basically counted. There's only 11 GMO crops. People think everything is GMO. Now, there's corn in a lot of things, all right? And some of the GMO crops are very common. So that's why people get really upset. But we can really get into what is GMO, right? There's no plant soil science majors in here, is there? Okay, but we cultivated a lot of these plants different ways, right? Which is the same thing, as similar to making GMO. Eating fat makes you fat, is that true? No, but we thought it for decades. Okay, eating fat and cholesterol made you fat and gave you high cholesterol. Because it made sense, right? Easy assimilation. It was never proven. The doctor who came up with it, right, never proved it. And his nickname was Dr. Cholesterol, right? This was in the 60s. Do you know why? Do you know how hard it is to study diet? Nobody tells the truth about what they eat. Okay? Nobody, and most of the places where we study it are prisons and state institutions like mental hospitals because we can control the diet. Okay? That is literally some of the best places to study diet, which is really hard. Okay? And not the most nutritious food. Okay? Sometimes. All right? All of these things, and these are just simple ones, all right? There are myths that are super common and believed all throughout ag. Right? So our job is to tell the truth, okay, and get the right messaging out there, right? Again, I don't care what side you're on. Obviously, it's not brown cows that make chocolate milk, right? But we got to tell the story of where chocolate milk comes from, okay? Especially if you guys have paid attention, they're worried about the future supply of chocolate, right? Like growing cocoa beans and all that stuff is getting really hard and more challenging. And people are like, we're gonna run out of chocolate. Okay, well now everyone's like, oh, let's fix this because we don't want to lose chocolate, right? It's delicious. Okay. What other things can you guys think of or you've heard, maybe friends, family members, whatever, bring up like this? Yes, ma'am.
Only bulls grow horns.
Only bulls grow horns? Yep, absolutely. Okay. What else? Or have you seen in the media, whatever? Yes, ma'am.
Ruminants means like 4 stomachs.
Yep, right, yeah, ruminants, you have to have 4, okay, cool. Cows or cattle are destroying the ozone, right? Super common one, okay, yep. Now, can we talk about the methane they produce? Sure, but when that study first came out that said, I think the quote was, eating a T-bone is like driving a Hummer, right, to the environment. What was lumped in with that study is the transportation. Okay, so not only the methane from the cattle, but processing and transportation of getting the cattle to a restaurant or to a store. That was lumped in with the category to say this is what's contributing to depletion of the ozone. All the cars that are driving. Is that fair? No, cattle had nothing to do with that, we did that. What else? Too early?
I have no idea. I have nothing.
No other myths?
I have nothing.
Okay.
Oh, like ranchers and farmers abuse their animals.
Oh yeah, using animals, yep, okay. PETA is one, does everybody know what PETA is? People really have, okay. Yeah, their goal is to shut down production agriculture. That is their goal, okay, which means everyone would suffer a whole lot. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of things that happen like that. Anybody show animals growing up? They hate that. You guys have all abused animals. That's what they think, right? Okay. What else? They don't like rodeo either. Okay, what are things you guys think you want to educate people about? If you could tell somebody about ag, explain the truth, do you have anything in mind?
My main thing is combating like the abuse, like showing them that if you abuse your cattle, like you're not gonna make any money.
Yeah, right, okay, abusing cattle, okay. Same thing with the environment, right? Okay, they think farmers and ranchers are just killing the environment. Do you know any farmer or rancher who does not want to take care of their land? Right, that's their most precious resource, right? Okay. Okay, so it gets pretty interesting. Okay. What else? We got some work to do, right? It's a little early. Okay. This is stuff I want you guys to think about, okay? And if you stumble onto it, all right, you can do quick searches, all right? Just look up ag on Google News, right, or whatever, and you'll come across things, right? And you're like, wait a minute, I'm not sure that's true. Another thing that's super common is, let's say a new study comes out, okay? And it says, cattle are producing X amount of methane, killing the ozone or whatever, right? And there's a new study. What usually happens in the media is they'll pull out just a little bit of that study and then write the article, okay? Go find the study. Sometimes it's really long and dry, right? But usually not. And there's usually an abstract, okay, that'll just summarize the study. Go see what that study really says. Then go back and see if that article tells the truth, okay? That's some stuff we'll work on in this class, okay? Questions? Realize it's our first class, okay? try to bring a lot of energy, so please try to do the same. Okay? Bring some coffee in here, I don't care. Right? But I want this to be an engaging class. Okay, we're going to work on stuff like this throughout the semester. Okay, so just pay attention if you see something. If you see something on Twitter, if you see TikTok is the worst. Okay, there's actually a problem right now with people on TikTok giving out horrible financial advice, and people are following it. Okay, it is terrifying.
I'm gonna do like horrible skincare advice, so people like burn their skin off.
Yes, my 12-year-old believes everything she sees on TikTok. It is a nightmare. Has anybody seen The Social Dilemma on Netflix?
Yep.
It's about social media. It's scary, huh? It's terrifying,
Yeah, it's weird.
right? Okay. She was adamantly opposed to us watching that. She was getting defensive when I put it on. Okay, I was like, you need to chill out. You got a problem, and everybody in China watching your TikTok, right, already thinks you're a weirdo. Okay. All right, but we'll look at. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's pretty creepy. So last March, you know, when stuff was hitting the fan with COVID, and I'm really trying not to talk about COVID because everybody's tired of it, right? A whole bunch of college students are on spring break in Florida, right? Okay, normally, like where they go. Well, the data pulled from those phones when they started going back to their campuses and homes, right? It was like a plague spreading across the eastern seaboard, okay? And that was a huge factor in spreading COVID, right? And that stuff was pulled legally from their phones, right? 100% tracked, right? This stuff is creepy, okay? We'll get into some of that, hopefully. Sound good? Okay, that's all I have for today. I will try to make us use most of our time since you do have to be here Monday at 8. Sometimes we'll be short. I hope that's not a big deal. I'm sure everybody's really sad. But please try to be here. Please try to engage. And let's see if we can have a little fun in this course. Is that a deal? Okay, cool. Yes, sir. Questions?
On the assignment, it's not really a paper, it's just like the company.
Yeah, you'll write up a
There's
summary.
link to it.
I'll put the details in there. But yeah, you just make sure you find one and tell me as much as you can about it. And then we'll kind of build up that. Sound good? Okay. Guys, have a great day.